Yo, what's going on? This is the NRW or Nerds Rule the World. It's your boy, Kuya P, aka Patrick Michael Strange, the Adobro, the Babinka boy, the leader of the Holla Holla homies in the center gang of the ShoPowSho. And today we're recording another special ShoPowSho. Unfortunately, the amazing Ates couldn't be here, but I have a whole squad. They couldn't fit, y'all. Coming back to show love once again. It's the Lumpia with a Vengeance squad. We had them on when they did the prelude. We had them on when they did the interlude. And now here we come with numero tres, the postlude, y'all. I'm about to unpin myself so you can see them all. Here we go. Did I unpin myself? No, I think I'm still there. Let me unpin. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Did I unpin? There we go. Nope. Gallery view. Here we go. There we go. There they are. Let me introduce them all. I got Patricio, Ginelsa. I've got Lawrence, Iriarte, Diego, Iriarte, Gerald, Pilare, Justin, Quizon, Ray, Cuerdo, Varinder, Singh, Ardie, Aquino. My bad, yo. My bad. Ardie, Aquino, Vania, Ardie, and Chris Gallevo. I'm sorry if I mess up your names, but there you go, gentlemen and lady. Thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you so much. Here we go. There we go. Y'all are up. We can hear y'all now. Y'all can unmute. Hey, welcome.
Hey. Did we break the record? We're on for the third time, Patrick.
Got the shirt.
You know what? It might be the record. Third time. Third time's a charm.
Okay. I think that's favorite guest status.
Hell yeah.
Take that, SNL.
So yeah. Do we get a plaque or something for being?
I'm gonna look into it. Can
we go to the green room? Are you gonna let us go to the green room this time?
Yeah.
He'll definitely move up on the IMDb page though.
There we go.
Star meter
ranking over everybody else.
Our Q score.
There we go. Again, thank you so much for coming out. And if I mess up your names again, I apologize. I can brutalize names. It's difficult, but so happy to see you all again. Pat, man, thank you for bringing out the crew.
It takes a while as well.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear y'all. I think there was hesitation.
Gerald's running on just on a high right now because he's been signing comic books already, and the comic book just came out just yesterday.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this new book. It's now here. You all are signing, I think, at your high school alma mater. Is it?
Yeah, the 100th anniversary of our high school, and it was fitting that Gerald was there because when we went to school in the 90s, Gerald was the comic book artist. I mean, they weren't back then. You know, being a comic book nerd wasn't really the most popular thing to be at that time. Gerald and he was the comic book artist in a time when Image Comics was coming out. I mean, this was the peak of Jim Lee and McFarlane and Luis Patricio, and Gerald was the man. Like, he was every Filipino wanted to draw in school. I even drew for a time, but Gerald was the guy that he was going to make it his career. So to be back there with our old comic book and him actually signing, people were coming out getting all his covers. They just said, "Give me all his covers," and he was signing them. It was cool to see that. It's experience
that's awesome.
Yeah, at a high school, where it started.
That's beautiful. That's love, man. I that's just that's so touching. So I have to say, everybody, if you haven't picked up issue 1 and 2, if you haven't seen Lumpia with a Vengeance, you need to do it. Because FYI, there's going to be some spoilers going on here, y'all. So if you haven't done any of that, you may want to pause, come back, because there will be some spoilers. Because for anybody that has seen all that, what I love so much about this issue is we're now getting what happens after Lumpia with a Vengeance. This is our, quote unquote, sequel, but not really sequel. It's the third part in the trilogy, if you will, because we have the original Lumpia, we have Lumpia with Vengeance, and now here we go. Here's the continued adventures, and it's introducing even more of this deep fried universe, which I want to know all about. So I'm gonna throw it to you, Pat, to lead us off, and to you, Lawrence. Tell me about the construction and bringing out this third issue.
I mean, really, we got to thank our supporters and fans. I mean, just like the movie, they crowdfunded this issue. I mean, we didn't think we would even hit 3 issues, and so after 2 issues, this postlude was actually really difficult because unlike we really had to now think beyond really what the movie, what we were planning to do, right? And if potentially there is a third film, okay, so how could we lead it to that third movie? And so it was fun, also challenging. But I think that's the reason I think we delayed. We had a big delay was because there was a lot at stake, right, Lawrence? There's a lot at stake.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there is things that are related to this book and outside of the book, and definitely direct related to the movie. It's like how much do we want to reveal because of the storyline would involve bigger things without revealing too much. It's like it potentially could reveal bigger things, and plus we want people who didn't see the movie not be spoiled. So it was a dance about how do we go forward without spoiling the end of the film, so that's it's kind of like the Marvel's Spider-Man secret, like how much do we do, and but also give people like, hey, this is something that you may want to look out for in the future. So it was challenging, and I think the writers stepped it up and took a very interesting perspective. I enjoyed the one that I got a chance to do, and some secrets are there. So here we go, man. Come in and pick it up. And
it's very complimentary, if you didn't see it, and it just kind of adds to the experience,
Absolutely.
And you can then just jump on and walk in that fine line. I definitely see that. And kudos to you guys for trying to help with that transition. If you hadn't seen it, to be able to enjoy it for what it is.
Absolutely. Was looking forward to hear what people have to say. And
and a lot of it, right, Lawrence, was really it was San Diego Comic-Con. We were at San Diego Comic-Con special edition. I think once we saw the response and reaction to not only the film but people who actually were anticipating what we were going to write for the Postlude, I actually stopped everything and rewrote everything. It was like it almost like scared me to the point where I didn't realize there was we're such in a bubble. And then, when you go to these cons, and San Diego Comic-Con really opened our eyes to not only folks who actually were following us or who were even following the comic books. And honestly, that's the reason why we delayed it, was because I didn't think we needed to really step up our game and really fulfill that anticipation, So, I mean, it was fun.
It's we're in Lumpia with a Vengeance is a very unique film in itself. That one, it's a sequel. It's a continuing sequel of a universe that Pat introduced years ago, over 15 years ago. And so the story was opened up, and now we expanded it with the sequel of the film, and then we expanded it again with the comic books. And that's something that's not really done. It's usually the written material of a comic book first, and then usually inspires them in a movie. Pat jumped the gun and made the movie first. And he aspired for bigger things. He had vision, and now it's allowing the universe to get bigger and fry more into this universe that we have. So,
yeah, and it's really now a standalone. It's really now a standalone sort of IP. Separate.
Yes.
You could even think of it as separate from the movie.
It's wonderful.
It prevents. It allows ground for writers like Varinder and Justin to come in and just go ahead and say, oh, these are the toys you get to play with. Here's the film. There's a guy who throws he throws Lumpia rolls, and here's the villains. They look like this, and they do this. So it's in
the case of Varinder, there's more at stake because that's his character. So he's gonna want to control. As a writer, he gets to control where his character Bob goes.
So Bob,
I know you what you're doing, Varinder. I know what you're trying to do.
Someone's building a universe. Thanos.
Oh, man.
It's great. The sandbox is growing. The sandbox of fun and funkiness is growing so much that it allows newer artists like Vania and Ardie to come in and take a look at, this is what we got, and that was the joy of it, is to say, hey, here's the toys. Here's the toys. And then now also my son, now who's also welcome to the party, is now drawing the stuff that he's been seeing us do. So, it's creating that sandbox and letting people to come in, and let it bigger and bigger. So it's not limited. It's big.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. All right. So we got the gang back together again, plus some amazing talent, which I want to highlight. So I want to kind of walk through kind of just through the postlude a little bit to just show shine and love to all the amazing people that we have on this call right now. So let me first start off with the first group in this Citizens on Patrol, Pat and Gerald and Dante. Kind of like our first glimpse into, what happened after the Lumpia with a Vengeance. Pat, can you walk me through, not telling too much of the story, just, creative process and working again with Gerald. And Gerald, if you can chime in and give me some just added value to coming back on this.
I mean, really, the first story, Citizens of Patrol, is really just taking place right when the movie ends. Like, where are they going? What's happening? Who are the heroes that end up becoming the heroes at the end of the film? And so, Gerald, of course, is kind of like, he has a task of trying to fulfill, taking place at really one of my favorite locations in Lumpia 1, right? It's the mall. We call it Sarah Manila Mall here. So the whole story takes place in that mall, which I thought would be fun for Gerald to draw.
Gerald, what did you think of it?
That brought me back because it's it's like a nostalgia. Seriously, you're in high school. With kids nowadays, you could Zoom and do all this other stuff online. You got social media, but we had the mall. Everybody either took the bus to the mall or got a ride to the mall or drove to the mall themselves. But you're always like trying to meet at the mall or meet with a bigger group at the mall. So it kind of brought back a little bit of that nostalgia. I don't want to give so much away because it was a fun little bit. And the only thing I would say is it was like I would say an acid test for their new teammate. So
yep.
I don't want to spoil too much, but so it's like a trial by fire kind of
an addition
test, to see how they would work together. And they had to take baby steps. So where else to like see teens making trouble but at the mall. Yeah. So it was like, all right, here we go. Let's see how they do as a I'm gonna say it as a trio, so that they find a way to gel, and then towards the end, of course, only you could say maybe only 2 out of 3 of them really speak in words. So it was interesting to like add that little communication, let alone the chemistry between the three would work out panel to panel.
Definitely. I have to say, I'm happy you brought up the trio and now establishing this team. I want to give a shout out to Kuya Earl Bailon, because now he is integrated into the team with Kuya and Ate.
Yes.
He and I became real closer since last time. We're part of an actors class together. So it's great to see Earl kicking it with the team. I love that. So shout out to Earl. Yes. I love it. So great opening sequence. We get that, come off of Lumpia with Vengeance that I've been dying to kind of see happen. And that brings us to the Super Snoops with Ray and Dante. Ray, if you can talk about your piece there.
Yeah, what I really liked about this is, Richard, right? He's the kid who really wants to be part of the gang. And here he has a shot. He's got his own little action going to try to prove to Rachel that he can be part of the DFU.
I love it.
That always gets me.
To be, I don't want to tell the story, but yeah, I thought it was a kind of cool little sort of mystery detective type of story.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I'm sorry I messed up your name earlier, Ray. And actually, I kind of skipped around a bit. Justin, his actually was the next group before Super Snoops. Justin working with Jeffrey. Justin, can you talk about Stranger Than Fiction?
Oh, yeah.
So this one is, if you've seen the movie at this point, there's this, probably to me, the highlight of the film is this amazing dance
sequence
number. Yeah. And throughout the whole film, there's of course this song that plays throughout from one of the original characters from the first film. So the story I wrote is essentially kind of explaining where did those, how did he get this, how did that character Jart, who gets to kind of like, like when we get to the finale of the film and you see Jart do this amazing thing, the short story kind of explains how that happened, like where that came from. And it's very heavily inspired by old Marvel comics, not the MCU. As much as I love the MCU, I'm like, this is older. This is the real source material stuff. So there's a little bit of What If. There's a little bit of the old Doctor Strange, Steve Ditko comics in there, and that's kind of the weird vibe we wanted to tell. Because like it's our weird story explains like where did Jart get any of that? Like,
it's awesome. And I want to add, because I downloaded it, available on iTunes is that track.
Yeah.
Go over to iTunes.
Arte.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I've been blasting it in the car. It's been fun.
Yeah.
The next assignment is to do the dance. Learn the dance before the next one.
Well, and it's funny that version is not the movie version, right? That's the radio version. So the rapping is done differently than you have to see the movie to see the real version of that.
The movie levels it up. It's all about leveling up.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that even the radio version, Pat, I can't spoil the ending.
The story really spoils it, right? Everything he's there in your story.
Yeah, my story already kind of exposes it, but like until you buy that comic, if you listen on Spotify, there's an extra treat that's not in that version of it.
Yeah,
there you go. You gotta download it now.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are good sales pitchers.
We try.
You should know, Ray. You work for Sony, so I was like, you're Sony guy. You're Sony Pictures. You gotta talk
Ray,
like that.
This is 35 years of nerd school. 35 years of nerd school here, man. Come on, Ray.
You gotta bait him, dude. You gotta bait him.
I love it. And I love the work on the art chores with you on that, Justin. Who was the artist on?
Jeffrey.
Yes,
Fulgencio,
Jeffrey. Shout out to Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's done such great art for all the other comic books that we've done, but it's not biased because I helped write this one, but this is my favorite thing he's drawn, and the illustrations on this one is amazing. And like it's
awesome.
I love the color work he does in it. It's like a little bit of old Marvel, a little bit of Into the Spider-Verse vibes. It's some of my favorite thing he's ever done for any of the Lumpia comics. I can't wait for everyone else to look at it. It's great.
To credit Justin actually, as an art director, he had provided us like samples, and one of the things is that I had a meeting with both Justin and Jeffrey separately, and as soon as I read the script, I got it. But I said, "What do you want it to be like?" And he told me. And then talking to Jeffrey, and Jeffrey's an artist who can draw basically anything, like anything, any style, like any way. And as soon as like Justin laid out the samples, even the colors, he laid out colors and just how things wanted to appear. Even the opening text is just like it was all very specific, and it helped so much. But and if Jeffrey didn't understand something, he really went into it. I actually posed for a lot of the. We actually posed for a lot of.
Do that pose now, Lawrence. That's frame 3.
That's true. That's true. No, and it's
Lawrence, give me frame 2. Give me frame 2, Lawrence.
Lawrence is right. Like I did actually like send them screen grabs of different Marvel comics that I'm like, here, kind of like this, kind of color it like this, kind of go for
even the
this
textures.
vibe.
Even the textures.
You're right.
Yeah, we were talking about how like if you look very closely at this particular piece, Jeffrey went in and I said, don't do it this generation of comic books because the printing process changed, in the 80s, and so we went to the 1960s, like Justin said, original material, and and we said, okay, this is as far as we can go, and and Jeffrey just knocked it out of the park, man. So people are going to enjoy this, man.
Well done. It looks amazing, and that actually reminds me, I got to go back to you, Ray. Dante, he did something different with his style on this one. Working with you on this.
Yeah, Dante.
Yeah. What can you say about his art on your piece there, Ray?
Well, I thought Well, I like the color scheme, number one. And it felt, I don't know, it felt bigger that, I mean, it's hard to, in a comic book, it's like everything is in frames, right? But the way he did it was it just looked like a bigger canvas.
Yeah.
So to speak. And I liked it. I liked the fact that he was able to illustrate. There you go. The scope of the story.
Yeah. I enjoyed it because we know him as a stuntman, right? We
Yes.
on that, but then he did a couple of the other
Exactly.
covers, right, and other art choices. But this was different. I'm like, okay, this brother has some range. So I got to just give Dante some shout outs on that.
Yeah, and the influence behind that was really trying to get the these books from Encyclopedia Brown. There's a whole series that we were kind of inspired. I gave like when I what I did was I gave him some of these covers that I grew up reading
By Donald Sobel.
I think Dante said that because he can draw different styles. His covers are different. He paints and then I think once he saw that style, he really flourished in really painting that whole thing. I think it became his comfort zone. Like, so he even told me that style was something that he almost like really enjoyed doing. Like, it was like something this could be me. Like, this could be my, and I think he likes that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good suggestion, Pat. I didn't even know that you brought that into the mix.
A lot of the stuff is always going to be stuff that, whether it's comic books or it could be music or it could be an old children's books,
Actually, the story, Pat should be on that because it was Pat who gave me the idea.
Yes, but you brought in all the case stuff and the soggy rolls.
It sounded just
we're
like
trying to figure out what was the case, and I couldn't think of one.
I mean, if you read the language, it really follows a Encyclopedia Brown and Family Circus type of from the panels itself. The artwork is definitely told narrativized through the lens of like Family Circus, and the color palette and the style is Donald Sobel's Encyclopedia Brown cover. So if you find these things, man, little nerds out there are gonna look at this artwork and just like, there's a whole Easter egg of a lot of these stories that I'm telling you, we're taking a lot of nerdom from over 35 plus years of our life.
Living homework already. Look at that on a weekend.
Yeah,
Definitely more nerd than me.
Oh, it's clues upon clues upon clues. Go down the rabbit hole, see if you can catch them all.
Well, this nerd over here at NRW felt it, experienced it, loved it. Kudos to all of y'all. Y'all killed it. I got to go on next to Pat. Back to you. You're working with the other Pat, Ballesteros.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about this segment that gives us some DFU.
And that story release came because of the cover. The covers come first usually. So when I usually pitch it out to all the artists and like what their takes are for a different variant cover, his take on his variant cover was a really, like, he wanted to do a Scotty Young kind of like a tribute to George Perez, and all these different heroes coming into the cover. And so if you see his cover, I don't have it with me right now, but his cover specifically is really taking all the different heroes. That's just what potentially what the DFU could be about. So he took like Jart, he became like an Iron Man like person. But the one creature he did create in that thing was this very, and I just said, can you create a Hulk-like monster with a barong but covered in ube, and like he totally like, so he visualized that he was the first one to visualize what this ube monster could look like with a barong Tagalog. I don't know like what potentially could be. And so the story spawned by, okay, how can we create the DFU, this deep fried cinematic, this universe? And so the only thing I could think of without really, with those multiverse was really just, okay, let them literally go into the deep fried oil and find that really weird, odd universe. It's crazy because in movie form, we would never get away with that. But, in the comics, you can do all these crazy things. It could be a dream. But it gave us a glimpse, like Patrick and I just like took everything, and sometimes I had to dial it down a little bit, but really potentially it created even like Bob's character has a hero in there. So there's a lot of, even in this, you could do the centerpiece of the comic book. Oh my gosh, you see all these different heroes or different variants of these heroes. Some of them could be real, some of them could be, I don't know, but it's just that the Ube monster is one of the ones that kind of.
We know. We're not.
We
telling
know.
You.
I don't want to
We're not
spoil it,
telling
but
you.
we know what's going to happen. But for a short story, we again, Patrick does get the centerpiece again, like he did in issue 2. And the pitch was to do a kind of a George Perez thing, and so everything kind of revolved around that idea, and just really mixing in the potential of a real DFU, which again started because of an interview we did where they brought up the Deep Fried universe. So we didn't even create that. It was actually one of the promo Zoom interviews that we did where they coined the phrase.
The term, yeah.
Yeah, they coined it, and then literally we just take that and made it our own. So here we are trying to establish it now.
Hell yeah, I love it.
It's really good. Yeah.
The amazing potential of what this property can be, and we're all realizing it right now. It's amazing. And that was amazing. So we got next up More Than Meets the Eye. Lawrence,
Yes, sir.
you're working with Pat on this one.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Oh yeah, this was the last story, right? This was the last.
This is the last of the last story.
Well, the last story we wrote, but not in order. But yeah.
What I like telling Pat and is that it's just a matter of like saying, hey, do whatever you want, and I try to encourage him to do, like, I want to do this, and then I just tell him these are the elements. These are the elements I want to do. I don't care what it is. I do care, but I want it, because I'm ready to just go and level it up. This is what everybody is doing as an artist, as writers, is just go ahead and have permission. And I approached this with, as soon as I got the script and the opening sequence of the opening of this whole thing set the entire tone where I wanted, just literally panel 1 is what drove me how to deliver the piece, is what Pat established the very setting of where one of the characters is, where that character is determined of how I was going to go ahead and like deliver the story. So there's a very film noirish thing. So the entire thing looks like I wanted to give.
We could say it's Gemini. I mean,
okay,
the,
yeah.
The story. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a spoiler, but it's really meant as a way to really lead on to Gemini number 1, right? That was the whole point. This story was really to lead into our first spinoff.
Yeah. So it's great that Pat said you're going to be drawing this particular character, and which will lead on to Gemini. And so it's like, okay, as soon as he gave me the specs, that just gave me the go as far as like to approach all the different things, and which again helped launch me off to create a look again for what's to happen in Gemini number 1. So it's very film noir. And again, we took advantage of the property, saying this would have cost us X amount of dollars to do this stunt. This would have cost us this amount of money to do this. So we took advantage of certain moments, action sequences. I will say there is fight sequences that and what potentially would have been a special effects sequence, stunts, fighting, special effects. We were able to take advantage, and I played a lot with the whole night. Everything is about night, so there's everything is the colors are all about like how much light is affected if you shot this at nighttime. This is exactly what I approached it with. So it's a lot of fun, and glad that Pat took that initiative to give the story and give me a playground to play with. So yeah,
Awesome.
There you go.
Well, it's great to see it back because, you've kind of been the feature throughout, also kind of spearheading this with Pat. So I enjoyed that. But we're going to come back to that because, again, when we kind of finish this off, we're going to talk about where we're going to next. And that's obviously with Gemini. So next up, I need to bring out Varinder and Chris. Talk to me, Varinder and Chris. Tell me about the rise of Bob.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, this is basically my attempt at making sure I get into the third film. I need to show my
Bob-
face as much as possible. I'm desperate for this, guys.
Bob the writer is helping Bob the actor.
Yes.
Making Bob the creator. So
Like, do not replace me with any other Indian guy. Show his face as much as possible.
Varinder's making sure that we get an action figure named, Bob. So this is
Exactly.
awesome.
Exactly. You know what's so funny? You said the name Ardie, and I know I understand now he's one of the artists. Today at my pizza place where I work at, my family-owned pizza place, there was a guy, he was Filipino. He bought 2 pitchers of beer, and he wanted a 3rd pitcher. And I said, "Sir, I cannot do that. You need to leave." And he started cursing at me, and I could tell it was in Tagalog. And I tried to remember any of the words that Pat taught me when we were at the signing, and I only remembered one. And I just said, "Salamat, your mom. Salamat, salamat, salamat." I just kept saying it over and over again, and I was like, it sounds aggressive, but I remembered. I was like, it's just thank you. Salamat, salamat, your.
But that works. That works.
No, he just backed away
that still
slowly.
works.
No, I hit him with kindness, right? So that's
Right.
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah. You basically you thanked him with emphasis.
I was not a bully. That's what it was. I fought the bully. That's what I did.
No, fighting him with emphasis is exactly what you did. And you know
Yes.
what? Like, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, "Oh, okay,
Yes. Yes.
mom."
Thank you for the beer. Yeah. But no. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, no, sorry to veer off of that. No, but with the story. No, first of all, I love Chris's art. So getting to see that was awesome, Chris.
Great job, Chris.
And
Thank
so
you,
I collaborated with Pat on the story and just kind of closing out the arc with the 3rd story for Bob, kind of seeing what happens to him, and then kind of a cool little kind of imagination for the future for him. So it was a lot of fun and turned out really good. Yeah.
I love creating opportunity though, Bob.
Yeah.
Varinder.
Yeah.
Chris, tell me about
it was-
working on that with Varinder.
It was pretty cool seeing how this is a springboard for like a totally separate story set in this universe, and it was a lot more than I expected when I started doing this, because towards the end or towards the end of the story, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm taking part in the creation of this brand new character as far as the look and feel of it. And I was thinking, wow, this might be in a future movie. So we're kind of setting the groundwork for an actual live action character here. And it was kind of funny because I thought I was going to end up designing the reveal at the end from the ground up, but then it turned out that Pat had actually done an iteration of that character, for his story.
Patrick Ballesteros. Yeah, Patrick Ballesteros already had took the first stab at that character, right, Chris? So we had to follow his lead.
So I had to follow it, but then I was like, oh my gosh, has he really got this thing on his face? And I had to work with that. But I was glad that, Pat gave, PG gave me the flexibility to add more to it. So there's a touch of the final character design that, that I was able to put my fingerprints on. So, very much a collaborative thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Varinder and seeing where this goes. And it will blow my mind if I see this character in live action. There's things about the character design that I don't know how they're going to pull off in live action, but we got a creative team. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They'll find a way.
I love it. Do you have
a
a
lot of
particular
mops? A lot of mops.
Do you have a particular favorite panel? Because talking about like touches, I'm not going to give anything away, but the weapon, if you will, with certain things that come out of the weapon. Was that a particular?
Oh
touch,
yeah,
Chris?
that's definitely something that. It's just things that I feel make the guy look cooler, make the character look a lot cooler. That's some of the stuff that I added. But as far as like favorite panels go, I think I really like taking a lot of the background characters that were in the original Lumpia with a Vengeance film, especially there's a scene that takes place back at what was that, City Hall or Fogtown Hall, and just being able to illustrate the faces and the reactions based on those side characters, because a lot of ridiculous stuff goes on during that story, and being able to have them emote and react to some of the ridiculous things that goes on in that story, in that section of the story.
This literally could be right out of our film. Like it could be like literally like what Chris wound up drawing. It could be exactly from our film. So it's hilarious. It's hilarious that you guys.
Definitely kudos. And I gotta point out one last thing though on that last page. Whose idea was it to? Because we have our Bob right with Varinder, but by Bob Khan, which is a reference to Bob Kane.
Yeah.
Right? Who did that?
That was totally me.
I love it.
That was totally me.
Kudos on that one.
Yeah.
The inner nerd was smiling on that one.
Yeah, that is definitely a Batman Easter egg. And I just saw the opportunity, and it was perfect because like that's the whole, if you look at the two previous episode Bob issues or Bob stories in the previous issues, there's always references to other types of popular media like that. So it just was perfect.
It looks like
Easter egg
it looks like Bob Kane.
I actually had to write it a few times and like to make it like really, if you know what Bob Kane's signature looks like, then you'll think of it right away. So yeah.
Well done.
Glad you caught that.
Oh yeah, super nerd over here. I love it. Great job. Let's now talk with Pat again, but with Ardie Aquino on There Can Only Be One.
Yeah, so Ardie, as well with Vania, are first timers here. They're joining our Lumpia crew for the first time, and so with Ardie, he definitely has a style that I really wanted to play with it, and I was kind of hesitant because I knew this was going to be the final story. Like this was going to lead off to like where we're going to go with like this is our final issue of Lumpia with a Vengeance. So what is going to be after this, and so Ardie was really, and there's a lot of talking in this issue. So I didn't know Ardie was going to respond to the story. So I don't know Ardie, like seeing all the different crew members and like, you know what I mean? But he did get a juicy part in revealing this monster that Patrick first created, and I took that and I put it in the story because I wanted this monster to exist in our universe. So.
Oh yeah, and I got to know more about that. But let me hear from Ardie. Ardie, I know you're on here. We didn't hear you talk much yet.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I'm one of the newest members of the squad, and very happy to be here. And I was kind of overwhelmed with the character, so I just had a little bit of hard time with that. But with Pat and Lawrence's guidance, they gave me the freedom to do it on my own. But the additional art direction from Pat and definitely from Lawrence is like I'm being trained by a Jedi master right here. But still. And while we're talking, having these meetings, we had a great time giving these additional emotions to add on the comics, and definitely with his poses as well. Let me share something. How can I?
Yeah, share something. I love it.
Here's a reveal, like my secondary job for other artists here.
But there you go. It's just with the detectives posing when he's on the ground.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let me do
Let
me bring this in. All right, here we go. We'll do a share screen. Here we go, y'all. Y'all can see it.
Here's my acting debut.
Back to the you ever thought about life modeling, Lawrence? You ever thought about like
that's a hush situation.
I just You're so good at it, is all I'm saying. You know?
It's a
So it adds up to that. And then we were talking about how this big reveal thing. And then when we were just having that meeting, and that's the part when I realized that this is very important part that I'm drawing. We're doing like that. I put some more emotions to it. And then, yeah, we did it.
Originally, Ardie did it. He did a translation, and he was really faithful to the script. And that's where, like what Ardie's bringing up, I said, this is your chance as an artist, Ardie. It's like this is your pinup moment. Not too many people, Pat is giving you a chance to have a pinup moment, and let's do the payoff. And so instead of subtracting panels, we actually added panels. So that way, what I love about Ardie's talent, what I love about his work, is that it has such expressionism in the most. I wouldn't say simple, but I would say it's very readable. So so when I was like showing these eyes, he got it, and we were both doing faces to each other on a Zoom channel, just to show it. Like, yeah, let's build this up and then make it bigger in the end. And it was all his art. Ardie just reads very well, and he took a lot of great detailed instructions from Pat and just went with it. And it's as well as myself. It was a joy. Like all the artists that have come to the table, it's just such a joy to see them grow and let them know, like, hey man, play with a toy. Don't be shy. Play with it as much as possible, man. So
I love it. Well, well done, Ardie. And you get to introduce, in those final pages, when everybody finally checks it out, I'm not going to spoil it, an amazing character that was touched upon with everybody else. And I can't wait to learn more about that. And welcome to the team, Ardie. I love it. Good job.
Good job, guy.
So now to close this out, though, in order to, to get people to pick up a book, you have to have amazing cover art. And we haven't had our talk yet, but you see it behind me right now. Let's get Vania on here. Talk to me about putting this together and joining this amazing team.
Yeah. So when I joined the team, so I was actually doing Filipino American History Month posts on Instagram. And then one of the artists from previous issues, it was Leroy, I think, he saw it, saw one of my posts, shared it, and then I followed a rabbit trail to a Lumpia themed superhero movie, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? So I just kept following, and then finally Pat reached out to me and asked me if I would want to do a variant cover. So we got to talking, just different ideas, and kind of landed on the shawarma scene from the Avengers. So we did a parody of that, and I was like, I'm gonna have so much fun with all these details. And and it just came together. It was so much fun to work on.
I love it. Well, as you see, I'm rocking it. I got to show love.
I know. You're covering Earl back there.
Yeah.
On your.
And that was great. That was great because remember
Patrick is taking,
we always have to
taking the place of Earl at this moment.
Right.
Yeah, there's like detail that we're missing. Like we have to add the detail, the broom. We have to like change it up. We had to like.
Oh yeah.
The spoon and fork.
We're still finessing it even as we were moving along.
Yeah, I think the details were the most fun part. Yeah, I loved the change with the what's it called? The broom. I don't remember what it's called in Tagalog, but yeah.
Walis.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Well done, Vania. Welcome to the squad.
Thank you.
This was amazing. Pat, we went through the book. What else can we say about this? Again, this kind of wraps it up, and then we're going to lead to Gemini. But let's give some other love to some of the other people that aren't here today that might have also contributed, and we just want to show some love to.
Yeah, so of course, let's not forget our other cover artists. First the interior, Jeffrey Fulgencio, who wasn't here, Dante Fernandez, who didn't join us, another returning artist, and of course, a cover artist. We have Tata Panzi from Bayani Art, who contributed. We also have Quincy Victoria, who did another hilarious. He did the Kai cover for issue 2, and he did one for the debut, like parodying another movie I was a big part of. And we share the same DNA with. Who else am I missing here? Let me check. We have so much more variant covers. It's crazy here, right? So
we have a new
oh,
kid.
and Diego. We haven't talked to Diego. Diego,
Diego, come on.
Oh yeah, my bad. Oh snap. Forget about your son, Lawrence. Diego, my bad. Diego.
And also Gerald, right?
Well, Gerald Pilare, yeah, he did the interior, but Diego was also. It's funny because he's always been part of our crew, but this is the first time he's actually drawing a professional. And I'll share a story later on. But I mean, like Diego, it was incredible when he told me, "Hey, can I, Uncle Pat, can I do a cover for Lumpia?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I said, show me a layout first. Like I wasn't sure yet. Like show me a rough outline. Like it's like my son telling me, like, "Hey, Dad, can I get a cover?" Let me see an outline. I don't know.
He had to audition. He had to pass the audition.
But at least you get the audition.
So let's let Diego talk for a little bit. Diego, your Uncle Pat and and your dad been doing this for forever. Talk to me about now kind of contributing and putting a cover to this.
Yeah, so stepping into Lumpia is right now is very interesting because I'm at this point where I'm obviously actually going to art school to study to be an animator, and where I was going into the cover, I was jumping off from my cloth figure drawing class and color fundamentals. So I had all this knowledge, and I was like, how could I apply this? And also seeing where the comic book is going, I wanted to kind of do something where what could be super awesome to see and possibly the future, the next film possibly, or whatever is to come, what could be so amazing. And I thought, oh, what if we fought on the Bay Bridge? Because I go to school in San Francisco and I'm always seeing that every single day, and I'm going, man, if someone fought on there, that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome. So that's how that cover got made.
Awesome. Lawrence, you got anything to add about your amazing son now kind of following in your feet? I love that father-son type deal.
It's very tough because you want to be a dad and support, but also, I want to guide him to where he goes. And so Diego actually researched covers. He was going about his favorite artists and whatnot of the period of time. And they're the giants, and they happen to be people that he actually knows. They're kind of his uncles, and they're my mentors. And so he went back in and he says, I want to do it like this, and I want to do it like that. And so I said, well, go through all the traditional, do your thumbnail, figure it out first. And he pitched it to Pat. Pat loved it. And I think Pat didn't realize the magnitude that Diego was going to go. And what I mean by that is that Diego did this completely traditional. And not only did he do it traditional, he did it 2 to 4 up. So he was actually drawing as large as I was because he comes from a fine art, animator background. So he painted each of the portions completely large and big. And so when you see this first cover, and I will say there's more to come, when you see this first cover, you're going to realize this guy is painting everything, the details of everything. And especially he stepped it up completely. He did it with a mixed media of paints, of acrylic and inks, and just a pastel, and he used a razor. I mean, he was tackling this like his favorite artist, Bill Sienkiewicz, and a few other giants that are out there, Bernie Wrightson. And so if you look at it, you can see this influence about, it looks like a cover from a different period, like from the 1980s, early 80s and 70s. So there's that vibe that he just, even the body language, he studied the body language. And he had April actually contribute. We called up April in the middle of the night and said, Dad's going to pose for you and send you a pose. So here I go again. I'm posing for, but we needed April's finesse to get her likeness. So he actually painted. There's a huge painting of April, who plays Rachel, the main one of the main characters, and it's a huge painting of her that he wound up doing, as well as Gemini. So each portion of this thing, when you see it in person, it's like it all comes together, and which like he got the fever, and again, this led to him pitching another one, to follow up to his uncle. And thank you so much, Pat, for allowing Diego to step it up and shine.
You're welcome. But my only critique was, this, Diego, right? Was I said, this is your first professional cover. You got to change your signature. You got to make that signature look better. I didn't like his signature. I didn't like how it looked.
Out of everything, that's the one thing that Pat says. This is great, but you need to change the way you sign your name. But
did you guys do that? When you're growing up in high school, you always practice your signature. It looks like. I mean, like, in a way, it was my constructive criticism. Signature needs work, buddy.
Well, it's amazing, and again, shout out to the entire team and everybody here that came.
That'll come in time.
Yeah. Pat, do we have any more spice that we want to talk about? Obviously the follow up, and then back to Lawrence a little bit, because we alluded to it in your particular piece in this Gemini. Can we give some love about Gemini?
Yeah, it's the end for Lumpia with a Vengeance. So we're kind of done with that part of the story, and so we're really trying to figure out what is going to be the third cycle. And again, we're trying to lead to potentially a third film. And we would be lying if we say we weren't thinking about it. I think the comic books have allowed us to start thinking about it and really test the waters. I think, so yeah, there is a character that we finally reveal about Gemini. It's something I've always known, actually, even making the movie, but we never thought we would pull it off. And so we tested it, and there's a new character that leads into Gemini. And that's why with the spinoff actually comes out next week, and what's funny with the Gemini, the spinoff, was that it's like we're now we're entering uncharted territory, right? We're talking about this character, this villain, and based on people's feedback. And the only reason why we're doing a spinoff is because people always tell us, who's Gemini? What is she? What's she all about? She's one of the characters that people always remember after watching the film. So, the spinoff is kind of like one big experiment that hopefully will move towards other spinoffs.
And one of the fun things that happened out of all this, and I would say because of Diego just talking about him just doing a cover, we needed a design for a new character. And out of this, Diego actually officially contributed and actually did the base design of a brand character, a look of a new design. And you'll see it immediately once Gemini comes out on the front cover, immediately on one of the covers.
It shows up in your story. It's already out on issue 3. It's on your.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You had to issue.
Yeah, so yeah, you don't have to wait. Issue number 3 shows the design. So that actually, at the end of the story, the splash actually is Diego's design. He actually designed the character, and he approached it from a certain era, a certain time period, and he applied it. So this is Diego's first official character design for an actual comic book. So I'm very proud of him as a dad, and very proud of just all the work and the passion, and he went at it just like I want to make sure that this translates very well if it goes into a film or an animation. And you should see all the sketches that we wound up having all over, and we had meetings. It wasn't casual like, Dad, here's my drawing, you like it? Okay, here you go. No, but we went through revisions and tidying it up, and then ultimately I said, okay, it's ready. Let me clean this up and put the stamp of what he needs to have, and he did it. Yeah, so all based upon Pat's description. It's kind of like Darth Vader. It's kind of cool. Pat gave the Darth Vader description, which is only a sentence and a half. Darth Vader, when he was created, didn't have this big description. He had this very brief key description. And with those key words, Diego and I talked about it, but then I said, go ahead, like take it over and just try it. And let's see what a young mind, not this old guy here who's like had influences over, but some new blood. And Diego like injected like what he saw as continuing in classic stories of Marvel and DC. There's certain costumes continue on that keep on going back for mainstream characters, and Diego took that approach as like, how can we make sure that this character will continue? And he did his research, and the results is Lumpia number 3, the story that I actually illustrate, the end of that story. So there you go.
All right, so everybody, y'all are gonna get this Lumpia with a 3 Postlude, as well as Gemini. But before we leave up out of here, Pat, I hope you don't mind. I want to give everybody another opportunity again, kind of like when last y'all had y'all here. We're all fans of this universe. We're all part of this universe. But I want to go back through everybody because with this, you gave us a deep fried universe in this Lumpia with a 3 Postlude. So there's obviously a ton of ideas that everybody here, especially Varinder, because he had to create his opportunity. So I want to go back through everybody, with everything that we got in this Lumpia with a Vengeance. Please don't be mad at the people, Pat. And please, again, don't spoil anything, especially if you know something that I don't know, or there's something else going on in the works. Just maybe give me a tidbit of just something you'd like to see going back through, if given the opportunity again, whether that opportunity is there or not right now. So please don't be mad at people, Pat. I'm gonna start with you, Justin, since you're first up on my screen. What would you like to do within the deep fried universe going forward?
I never told Pat this, but I have an idea about why Kuya has a machine to make Lumpia on his belt. I've started thinking about this, and I have a take on it. I don't know if you will like it, but I have a take on it that's partially side inspired by the story that I wrote in the Gemini comic.
Right on.
And it's an expansion, like we've talked about before. But I kind of talked about it with Earl afterwards, after our San Diego screening, and I said, "Hey, hear me out. What if it's this?" And Earl was like, "Interesting." So I don't know if Pat's ever open to hearing me on this. He will never use it. It's totally fine. But I have a thought as to why Kuya uses a deep frying machine.
All right.
To create
that's awesome.
I'm geeked. I already want to know. I love this. I love
the Morgan Freeman moment.
Next up, I'm going per the order that I have on my screen right now. Vania, you did this amazing cover behind me. You're now part of this family. If you could do something more with this, what would you like to do?
So I would like, just like in general, like story wise or anything. Yeah. So I'm a history nerd, and I would love to see the story go back to the Philippines and back to our roots and see like what we could bring that. Bring some of that energy. So
that's
awesome.
Cool.
I love it. Lawrence, you're next up on my screen on here. What would you're kind of already in there foundationally with Pat, obviously, but maybe something you haven't told Pat, maybe?
Well, what I love about working with Pat is that he dreams big. Pat dreams big, but my feel is take whatever you got and inject 1,000 steroids into it and go big, level it up. And I like leveling up. That comes with that character that we show, is we leveled up a character. And with all the new characters that are coming around, that's what I love, is to go ahead and just go fantastic to just show that how big this sandbox, this playroom is to treat it that way. I love it that much. That's why I say I will draw anything and do any character and show like the steroid version of it, just because Pat created. It's like, what it is? It's like Captain America. Captain America started the Marvel Universe. And through the Marvel Universe, every character is a deviation of Marvel, from the Incredible Hulk to the research of Spider-Man to the lost hammer of Thor. Everything is about trying to find the source. And that source was trying to duplicate Captain America. In our universe, the Lumpia universe is this incredible deep fried well of something, whether it's super science, whether it's super magical, or something that goes back to the Philippines, but it is the secret of the Lumpia universe, the deep fry universe. And that's the way I approach it, is to say, let's have fun. I will continue to do from every character, even in the side characters, no matter how small, so-called small they are and insignificant. One of them is going to find the hammer of Thor. One of them is going to get bitten by a spider. In our version of that sort of thing is that, and they're going to put on a funky outfit. I'm going to draw Bob in one fashion or another, just because I that much is that Pat opened this door, and I personally want to continue, just say, in every form, from the film of a sequel, an animation series, a comic book series. I am nerd out about Lumpia with the vengeance, and just the Lumpia universe. That is what I want to do, is to say, don't limit ourselves here. Just say, here we go. Excelsior, just nerd-tastic it out and just get nerdy with me, and trust us, it's going to be a long ride, because we have such talented folks from all over the world, who can tap into our Filipino heritage and blow this up. So I encourage it. Let's roid it up, and and let's Hulk it out and just green.
There we go. I love it. Thank you, Lawrence. I'm with you on that. I love that inspiration. Diego, the son of Lawrence Iriarte. Diego, you now, threw down the cover. What do you want to see and possibly do?
Oh, I would absolutely love to explore the character that I helped design, and characters that I've talked about with my dad and also Pat. There's these characters in the movie, Fillmore and Jackson. Yeah. I would love to see what happens after the movie with these characters, because I just came out from high school like 2 or 3 years ago now, and I'm seeing, life goes in very crazy ways, and seeing what happened to these two guys, because what they do in the movies, oh my god, what would happen to them? So yeah, Fillmore and Jackson, definitely I would love to see what happens to them.
Awesome. Thanks, Diego. Varinder, we got to have more Bob, right? More Bob.
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. Now hear me out on this. Here's what I'm thinking. We talk a lot about the fried food. What about the oil that is used to fry that food? So the creator of the oil, dual role played by Varinder Singh. I just have a goatee. That's it. But hold on. Just as, again, to make sure that I make it into the film somehow in some facet or form. But other than him, other than the oils, there's a villain that is using an air fryer now, not using any oils, but that takes away the power of the fried food. There's a problem here. Trademark. Pat, you can't just take that, please. Just okay.
I like how Varender's like, please, Pat, don't take that.
Thank you, Varinder. That's awesome. I love it. Gerald, Pilar, I know you're busy signing autographs. I think you're probably signing autographs as we speak, as I see on the screen.
It's my sketch he's doing.
He's still signing right now.
He's doing sketches.
Can you hear me, Gerald? Or is he too busy? I think he's too busy. I don't know if he can hear us. We'll come back to him. Ardie, you're next up on my screen. Can you hear me, Ardie?
Yes, I do.
What would you like to do? Welcome, you're in this universe now. What would you like to see and do?
I know, with the deep fried universe.
Yes.
It blew my mind.
You kind of introduce a character in yours. Would you like to? I loved how you styled him a little bit. Do you want to maybe do more with that particular character?
Yeah, definitely more of that character. It gave me the chance to explore that. But while looking at it and looking at Postlude number 3, I really wanted to draw the guy on the middle of the spread more.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We won't spoil anything unless Pat. I'll let Pat do the spoiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
It intrigues me very much.
I got you.
cannot say it.
I don't want nobody to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't want Pat to get mad at me. Ray, you're next up on the hit list. You're the publisher behind it, so a lot of it depends on you. What would you like to see and do?
I got one word: Lumpia. Let's find out what Lumpia is all about, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, from what we already know of it as food, as probably the number one iconic Filipino food that's outside of the Philippines, right? To all other cultures. I think everyone knows what lumpia is, but let's go beyond that, right? Because now we're creating this DFU. So what is lumpia in the DFU, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's now what? We know it as a weapon, or at least that's what it's being portrayed as. But I think we can go. I think we can explore the lumpia.
Okay.
Yeah.
The power of the sun in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ray. Chris, talk to me. You've had your hand on this a little bit now with the prelude, with the interlude, and now the postlude. Talk to me. What you'd like to see and maybe do.
Well, as far as what to do, I love doing the covers, and trying to do different styles. So far, I've done one in acrylic paint. Then I did the peachy one digital. So just being able to try all the different artistic mediums and pushing the art style, I think that'd be really cool. Awesome. And then as far as like story-wise goes, I mean, I don't know, I haven't written anything, but I just feel like an idea that just randomly popped up in my head was, if this universe expands, just a fun little ridiculous spin-off idea would probably be like referencing boy bands and the popularity of like BTS, and having like a Filipino boy band. But get this, they also double as superheroes, and so it's kind of like a
trademark
Avengers meets Gem and the Holograms, where they're up and coming boy band, but they also fight crime, but it's kind of got this Peter Parker high school dilemma, because their popularity is actually rising as a boy band, and they're conflicted between fighting crime, and there's a lot of potential for inner conflict and external conflict. I think that just could be really and because the song in Lumpia, the Maarte song, was so popular. This can have so many potential for so many fun songs.
I dig it.
That could be created for these guys. I don't know. I just came up with that while everyone was talking.
That's awesome, Chris. No, I love it.
Patricio,
if you want to use it, we could talk some more. But yeah.
There we go. Gerald, I see you're available now. I know you were signing autographs. What would you like to see?
I did it on purpose. I did this on purpose because a lot of people in the sandbox got to play with more interesting snacks. But I'm the one that's the leadoff hitter on a lot of these books. So this is my this is my level for what I would love to do right there. So boom.
Hey.
So reveal. Spoiler.
Whoa. Awesome. Let me bring it back.
Quick.
Let me actually make it big on the screen.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Gerald, if you can show it one more time, because it was kind of minimized. All right, I'm gonna shut up because let me pin you. Let me pin you.
There you go.
Keep it up there. There we go. There it is, so everybody can see you're pinned. We can all see it. I love it. Yes.
Find out more about that character in the third issue.
Stay tuned on Lumpia with a Vengeance, number 3.
We'll see
awesome.
that.
Thanks,
That's why we need
Gerald.
We need to talk about the origins of the actual lumpia if we're gonna have ube.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey, you know, and Patrick, like, honestly, come on, I'm down for anything. You know, I just talked to Justin about this. I love drawing machines. I love drawing sci-fi. I love mecha. You know, we grew up on Transformers and Macross and Robotech and
Rollout.
you name it. Anything with metal or supposedly it was metal. I was hooked to. I was always a fan of cars when I was growing up too. So, hey, the more I could throw in some wheels and some glass and steel, the better. You know. The final page of the final page of issue 3. I was like one of my happiest moments, even though I didn't get to illustrate them moving. At least I put the darn car and scooter in there because that's hopefully a foreshadowing of what can happen when people actually like drive and ride these things. So let alone what I just snuck in there tonight
as a toy.
Awesome. Excellent. Gerald, well, thank you for sharing that. And Pat's been quiet all this time. Before you go in, Pat, though, I got to say for myself what I want to do. And it's kind of like a nod to what Vania said earlier. She wants to bring it to the Philippines. What hasn't been seen yet is y'all are West Coast cats. I'm over here in the DC area, East Coast. I want to introduce Kuya and Ate to Kuya P and the Amazing Ates and show that there's like this podcast team that also doubles as superheroes. I'm just saying, I'm ready to put my piece of the pie into the Lumpia universe. So just FYI. Now, Pat, close us out.
And we have plans. We have plans to do that. We're not spoiling anything. I think anyone. It's hard for us to say no to people. I think it's always been. If people want to play with us in the playground, we allow them to. And I think everyone here who's worked with us we're just an email or text or direct DM away. And I don't say that because we want to get bombarded with all these people who want to work with us. But bring it. I mean, I think even hearing everyone's ideas, it's just been. It started off with some just this wacky idea of throwing Lumpia, a bunch of Filipino kids in a Dili City neighborhood, and I've always been stunned and just really taken back by just how big this is become in terms of expanding from this small neighborhood, and now we're the movie universe. Now it's a comic book universe, and where it goes. And I think the fact that you guys are so excited and putting your own spin to it and what you guys are doing. I mean, anything's possible, and I think not even with our creators, but even with our supporters, I think that's the fuel that keeps us going. And I think, I think our goal was always really just to make a guy who throws Lumpia cool, right? It was look, if they can make a guy who dresses up like a bat cool, why not a guy or a team who uses Lumpia as their favorite, their icon. So it's just. I think in this world, I'm just very. I feel like a conductor now, and I know and a lot of folks. This postlude, especially this issue, is really a testament to everyone putting a lot of their own 2 cents in their own artwork. A lot of the creature that even the creature that Gerald just showed it's because another creator created it, and then you had Ardie and it's just. And then I'll spoil something. Even Lawrence is taking a stab with it in another issue that's coming out. So it's amazing how this didn't exist even 4 months ago, and a lot of it just spawned out from everyone's excitement over this little crazy franchise that we're creating. So I'm glad. I'm just very. We're gonna keep going because we're still trying to figure it out. And I think with WonderCon coming out, we do have some really big surprises coming up, and so we've kind of mapped it out. So we mapped out a little bit what we plan to do or hope to do.
Just come and play. The biggest thing is that Pat created this great play box, man. He created this great venue, and because it is Lumpia, because it is tied with the food, it allows us to go, why not? As soon as you accept that one special truth, then the universe opens up to so much creativity. If you can accept this one portion, it is the founding of the entire Lumpia universe. The entire deep fried universe relies on just believe that this is happening, then everything else goes, and it will create the logic with it. Bob was created from Varinder's passion of having it, and I'm ready to Varinder, I think, yeah, I'm ready to draw a cover or two just of seeing Bob's the further adventures of Bob and the new character that he brought in. It's so fun. This is like, imagine this, Patrick, is that this is what it's like when you created a guy that, turned into rocks, and a person that burst into fire, and a woman who went invisible, and a guy who stretched. That's four basic things. But if you hold on to that believability, a whole universe was built around that. Just as much as believing a teenager can get bitten by an insect, or in this case a spider, and become one of the most popular worldwide character. And then now 60 plus years later, we believe in that and we hold on to that. It's not radical. It's like, it has to be this way because, you hold on to that faith. Well, we're all holding on to the faith that there's a secret behind the Lumpia, as Ray says. There's a secret behind the Lumpia. What that is, join our journey, and we will deliver stories that will make you believe in creatures and heroes, villains of all sorts, that it's just why not? If you can believe that turtles can put on outfits and then someday fight crime and eat pizza and talk, then you can certainly believe that there's a guy who could put on a belt and a barong and fight crime and bring justice to this world with a Lumpia. So, that's what it's all about. It's not a matter of like, can it happen? Certainly couldn't happen. And when, discussions like this will be normal, whether or not, do we have a future? It's a matter of like, when, and are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready to take a bite of that roll? And, we offer a tray of it, man, all variety of all deliciousness and fun, funky and fullness, all the way through with a family of folks. Just it's all there for you. And welcome. That's all I could say is welcome to the universe. And I thank Pat, for rolling that first one and making it to us all.
Awesome. So, any other events or anything we're going to promote? You guys are going to be at WonderCon, and I think we'll actually have this drop right before WonderCon. But any other things we want to promote, and or also if they haven't ordered or picked up, how can they scoop up a copy of Lumpia with a Vengeance Postlude and or Gemini coming up?
Yeah, you can buy your printed copy or digital copy at lumpiamovie.com. We have all kinds of variant covers from all these talented creators. We do have a couple of stores that are carrying it, and it starts on Wednesday, March 30th. So March 30th comes out Wednesday. And then we also have another spinoff and WinterCon. And of course, we have screenings coming out. We're in your neck of the woods near Virginia Beach coming up, and Chicago premiere. We'll be at Chris's place right there in Chicago for the Chicago premiere. And we got more screenings. There's Las Vegas we haven't announced, but there's a lot more happening this summer. Just check out Lumpia Movie and join our Discord. And yeah.
There we go. We are
planning
over here. Plotting and planning. I've got some ideas over on this side that when Pat and I finalize it, we'll throw those out there. One last go around. Again, thank you everybody for joining us and sharing in this Lumpia with a Vengeance love. I want to go back around again to give you all individual love. If y'all can give out your socials so everybody that's watching this can check you out online, see what you got coming up. I'm going to go back round robin. My screen has changed a little bit. Vania, if I can kick it off with you, if you can share any socials you wanted to share, so people can follow you and check you out.
Yeah. So I'm at VG Hardy on Instagram and Twitter. I like to say I'm funnier on Twitter. So.
Awesome. Diego, how about you?
Yeah, you can check me out on twitch.tv/Diego Illustrates. And then you can also check me out on Instagram at Diego.Iriarte. So those are my platforms where I'm at.
Awesome. Thanks, Diego. Varinder.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at varjas916, or you can catch me at Mountain Mike's Pizza in South Sacramento, making pizzas anytime.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. I love it. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram at chris.gallevo.art. I also photography Instagram at chrisgallevo.photo. And then also on Twitter at Chris Gallevo. Thanks.
There we go. Thank you, Chris. Gerald.
Hit me up at g.pilare.art Instagram. I'll be all the time.
Awesome. Thank you, Gerald. Ray, how about you? Oh, Ray, you muted.
Oh, sorry. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Ray Cuerdo.
Thank you, Ray. Justin.
You can follow me on Twitter at Justin Quizon, Instagram at Justin Quiz. I'll go ahead and say TikTok at Justin Quiz. I do a lot of movie posts on there as well. And hey, I wrote a review for this site for Turning Red. If you haven't gotten around checking it out, and I did a video for the YouTube channel about Turning Red. So I'm promoting. It's like a weird snake eating its own tail thing of promoting us as well as promoting us. So
yeah, Justin's part of my family now too. So I love it. Thank you, Justin. There we go. Ardie over in the Philippines. Thank you for for this early morning sharing with us. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, you can you can check my art at Cheeky Doodle Doo. Yep, you can find me there in my Instagram. Post a lot of art there.
Awesome. Thank you, Ardie. Lawrence, how about you?
You can get me on Facebook and as well as Instagram. Those are the main two that I go off. As well as you could DM me for commissions and sketches that we're doing promotion. And where Diego and I are doing a short list on that. So if you want to pick up your drawing at WonderCon, hit us up on that. Hit me up on Lawrence John Iriarte. It's not just Lawrence Iriarte, but Lawrence John Iriarte on all the platforms, and you'll find my address and everything. And we promise to deliver.
There we go. Pat, Ginelsa.
You can find me on all social media at Kid Heroes. That's my personal account, Kid Heroes Productions, and of course for their film at Lumpia Movie. I have no TikTok yet, so no TikTok.
They're waiting for you, buddy.
He's practicing. We got the music for you. There's a thing called Marte.
I'm still on Friendster, by the way. Friendster and MySpace.
Well, you need to upgrade your social media, dude.
Yeah, get off the MySpace or thing.
There you go. Well, gentlemen and lady, thank you all for coming and sharing a bit of your time today. This was so much fun. Everybody that's watching this, check out our prelude interview with everybody, the interlude with everybody. And I've also had Earl on. I've had April on. We've had individuals with them, as well as Lawrence and Pat and everybody else that's here that I haven't had individuals. Oh, Justin had an individual interview. I'd love to have you all back to share your stories. You all are amazing. I love you guys, and welcome to the new family that I just met in Vania and Ardie and just everybody. This is truly a pleasure. ShoPowSho, y'all. You can follow us at ShoPowSho on everything, and of course me at the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. And I'm just so excited, man. Let's keep on celebrating and showing love to our Lumpia with a Vengeance family. This was truly a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much. We're out of here. Until next time.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick.
Salamat, Patrick.
Love that Lumpia.
Love that Lumpia.
See you at WonderCon. See you at WonderCon.